Hey everybody, it's your girl Jen. Welcome back to my channel. How is everybody? Well, it's Sunday, sexy Sunday, and today we are going to talk about my favorite of all heels, the Stiletto. Okay? Now we're going to go back as far back as I can find any research. That's what I do. I have to jump down that rabbit hole, but in the beginning of fashion of any kind, traditionally there was no dress code. All fashion was like genderless. So traditionally, elevated shoes, they signified nobility and wealth. If you didn't have money, you didn't get no high heels. Now, block heels and raised platform shoes have been worn since the 16th century Greeks. And heeled shoes actually date back to 9th century Persia. But this trend was not popular back then for the high heels. They were popularized by Catherine de Medici. Now, Catherine Medici wanted to be taller than her 4 foot 9 inches on her wedding day. So what she did was she had a pair of high heels designed for her wedding, and this brought the high heel to a mass audience. But now, those razor thin heels that we know as stilettos, now that is a 20th century invention. Believe it or not, the stiletto is named after an Italian knife. Now this knife, it has a slender blade and a needle sharp point. And this heel was engineered in the 1950s. You see, in the 1950s, new materials and techniques invented for aircraft carriers, they were applied to shoe construction. They decided to use aluminum and injection molding to fuse metal and plastic. And this made it possible to elongate and raise heels to any height. But there was a problem. Ain't there always a problem? They had to find a way to support the arch of the foot, taking the pressure off the toes, and try to allow the shoe to move with the body rather than against it. Now, I don't know about y'all, but it seems like stilettos put all the weight onto the toes and the ball of the foot. So maybe there is really no way to make an arch that can truly support these shoes. So let's describe what it takes to call a heel a stiletto. Not just any shoe can be called a stiletto. They are typically 3 to 5 inches, and they must be narrower at the tip than where the heel attaches to the back of the shoe, meaning where the tip meets the pavement. They got to be thin and smaller than where they meet the bottom of the foot and the shoe. Now, the designers that have been credited for inventing the stiletto is Salvatore Ferragamo, Roger Vivitere, and Andre Perugino between 1948 and 1954. And since all of those names are French or Italian, I might have butchered them really bad, but we're going to give it a shot anyway at those names. That seductive walk of Marilyn Monroe, y'all, that was thanks to the 4-inch Ferragamo stilettos she wore in the 1950s. Now, these 3 designers are considered to be the fathers of the stiletto. Now, let's first talk about Salvatore Ferragamo. He moved to the U.S. from Italy at the young age of 16, and he considered his shoemaking an art form mixed with a bit of science. And he got his inspiration for his clean lines and simple shapes from non-traditional materials. See, he used materials such as nylon and cork, and one of his most innovative materials that made most stilettos possible, steel. Now, this still is often regarded as the definition of the stiletto. Y'all, what makes Salvatore Ferragamo a contender for the title of inventor of the stiletto is that he began designing heels as early as the 1920s. Even though he's not the only designer considered to be the father of the stiletto, he is patented for the as the inventor of the cage heel. He is even credited with reviving the cork wedge. And that cork wedge, y'all, I think they're kind of ugly, and I wouldn't wear them. But to each their own. That's okay. Whatever you want to wear, to each their own. And he also designed shoes for up and coming stars like Eva Braun, Lauren Bacall, Sophia Loren, Marilyn Monroe, and countless others. And this gained him the nickname of Shoemaker to the Stars. See, even though he is not solely credited for inventing the stiletto, he knew how to publicize them by putting them on the right feet of the right people at the right time. And he, for sure, was the one person who most publicized the stiletto. Now, the first person to experiment with height and slimness and making those skinny tall heels, he is Andre Perugia. And y'all know that these are the two major defining factors of the stiletto. He was born in Nice, France, to Italian heritage and started designing women's shoes around 1909. He is the one who holds the patent for the removable heel and contemporary wooden sole shoes. And even though he is considered one of the inventors of the stiletto, he doesn't really earn that title. But he did get close, though. He got close, y'all. Now, if you love stilettos, you have Roger Vivier to thank. He is the one who upped the heel, the height from 6 centimeters to 8 centimeters, naming him the father of the modern day stiletto. And he did earn this title with his craftsmanship. See, he merged height with comfort. The designer, Roger Vivier, is a native Parisian who was known to be a regular at Moulin Rouge. And we have this to thank for his playful designs. But did y'all know that he created shoes for Queen Elizabeth II and even the Princess of Iran? And he even designed for Christian Dior. Now, even though there is really no one designer who invented the stiletto, we know that these heels, they have evolved. They were evolved over time. No one person can claim the title of being the father of them. And we have British queens and French designers to thank. And now, y'all, let's not forget Venetian prostitutes. You see, women's platform shoes, or chopins as they were called then, were thought to have originated with prostitutes in Venice. Now, these shoes, which reach heights up to 18 inches, yeah. Some of them, not all of them, but some of them in some cases, they gave a prostitute a sensuous gait for prospective clients. Not to mention, it raised her above her rivals. I mean, if you're in 18-inch heels, you're going to be standing tall above your competition, But how the hell they walked in them, I will never know. But the first documented wearer of European high heels is, of course, y'all, Queen Elizabeth I. That bitch is the first for everything, ain't she? I'm sorry, but she is, right? Early shoes often used straps called lachettes with lace or ribbon ties. And we can consider this the early form of shoelaces. And women's and men's styles were mostly the same. until about 1660, at which point men's shoes tended to be more practical and women's shoes became more ornate, more decorative, more aesthetic with silks, brocades, braids, and even velvet. And maybe that's when it started out that a woman needed a lot of shoes. Because let me tell you, no matter who the woman is or how much money she has, you can guarantee that she has a woman has a closet full of shoes. They have shoes for every outfit and color for every mood that they're in. Now, I don't know if that's where it comes from, but it's a good guess. Now, oddly enough, y'all, women wearing high heels receive help and attention from men more quickly than ladies wearing flats. You see, the reasoning behind that is because high heels makes a woman look more long-legged and gives her a sexier posture. But wearing stilettos suddenly makes the wearer feel more sexier too. So maybe that has a lot to do with the sexier posture. Well, I don't know. I do know if you finish a sexy outfit off with a pair of stilettos, you're going to turn heads. Now, y'all, I'm a short girl, okay? I love my stilettos. Not only for the height they give me, because I would like to be taller. At 5'1", I am a short girl. So since God didn't make me 5'7", my stilettos can. But I not only wear them for the height. When I put on my stockings and garters and then put on my stilettos, y'all, I feel unstoppable. You should try a pair. I mean, I think you'll love them too. I find stilettos, or really any high heel, looks so sexy with skinny jeans. I wear mine that way all the time with skinny jeans, and I wear mine so often that when I'm out and I have on tennis shoes, people look at me odd or they wonder if I'm sick or what's wrong with me. Why are you in tennis shoes? But there's a downside like to everything. So listen up, y'all. Wearing stilettos is a skill. Okay, these shoes give you that sexy hip swinging walk that everyone wants, but you need to learn to walk in them. Remember when you were little and you learned to walk with a book on your head, with that straight back? Don't let the book fall off your head. That is how you walk in these shoes. And you would need to take extra care on stairs, especially going down, so you don't fall down. And even little cracks in the sidewalk can turn into a disaster. If you've got those needlepoint heels and you get it stuck in a crack, it could turn into a disaster. And there is nothing sexy about busting your ass. There's nothing sexy about having skinned up skin or bruises, or even worse, a broken bone. Nobody wants that. So when you wear them, be very careful. Or, practice walking in them at home first, before you try to go out. But now, even though they are hard on the feet, if worn for a long period of time, they do make you feel good about yourself. They make you feel good about whatever you're wearing. That's the cherry on top of the cake when it comes to your outfit. Trust me on that. And they can start to be uncomfortable if worn for long periods of time, like you're on your feet for a solid 8 or 12 hours. They can start to be uncomfortable, cause your feet to hurt, but hey, no pain, no gain, right? But other than that, they can make the tips of your toes start to hurt too. So I wouldn't suggest them for any long period of wearing. But other than that, hey, Go out there and get you a pair of stilettos and try them out. They are the best high heels ever. Get yourself some. Get that sexy gait. Turn those men's heads. Anyways, that's my story on the stiletto. There wasn't a whole lot to it, unless I wanted to go deep into those designers, which I didn't want to because I really wanted to talk more about the shoe. So thanks for watching. Hit that like button and share. Subscribe if you haven't. It's a free way to help your girl out. And next week, I am not sure yet what we're going to talk about. It'll be a surprise. Yeah. So, yeah, that's the stiletto. And thank you for watching. And I will be back soon.